Welcome to Unity with Pam, with your host, Pam Willis-Hovey.
Hello and welcome back to Unity. I tell you, we do this every year. It is our car care show and we do it at Midas. And I'm telling you, we had a viewer that watched my show. She's a young lady, 20 years old, single mom, purchased a car. Didn't know anything about a car. So this is going to be a learning curve for a lot of people, women, especially us who, some of us don't know cars. There are some women that do, but you also have some men that don't know cars. This is going to be a real one here for you. We have Tony here. He is with Midas and he's going to tell us what he found when he looked at Miss Ashley's car.
Anytime you're purchasing a vehicle that you're buying from a private owner or getting from a lot, you're buying somebody else's issue. So when she purchased the car, we found a few things. It definitely needs some brake work, needs some fluid maintenances, tires especially, safety issues. So it needs some work.
It needs some work. So take us through. Someone like me who, like I always say, I really don't know cars that well, and I go to someone I see, we see them all around town. The for sale sign is on the car. So good price, purchase the car. How do we know we got something good or not?
Well, prior to purchasing the car, any reputable car lots or good person is going to let you test drive that vehicle. If you're buying from a private dealer, they'll probably bring it here with you. You need to bring it to us so we can look at it. If you don't have a good inspection and you don't know what's wrong with the car, how do you know what the price is going to be? So prior to purchasing anything, you need to look at it. You need to do some research. Make sure it's the car you want. Make sure there's no recalls on it. Make sure the tires are good on it. Just kick it around a little bit.
One thing, when you didn't get a chance to see it, but the car was up in the air and Tony was chalking the tires. And I said, why are you chalking the tires? Tell my viewers about that.
Midas uses a procedure called the chalk, just what we call chalk and talk. We measure the tread depth of the tire. We go around the tire completely. We want to make sure there's no punctures in it. We want to see the alignment wear in the tire. On this particular car, we had one tire that was showing metal. Anytime we see that, it's a safety issue. Anything less than 2/30 seconds is a safety issue. Tires are very important. It's what keeps you off the road. If you blow a tire out while you're driving the car and you didn't know that you needed tires, it can cause an accident. So tires being a safety issue, that's one of the first things we inspect.
Also, I'll tell people, he took the tires off and you was taking a mallet to me to the brakes. So I'm telling you, I don't know. So walk me through.
I used a hammer to remove the rear brake drums because they're forced on there. The rust corrodes, so it's hard to get them off. You can't just pull them off by hand. So I took the hammer and tapped on them to get the brake drums off the vehicle so I could see the inside.
Once you did that, what did you notice? What made you say, I know this is not good brakes for her?
She has brake fluid leaking out of the right rear wheel cylinder, which is, and again, a safety issue. Anytime you lose brake hydraulic pressure, it becomes an issue for the car. One of her complaints is a low brake pedal and it doesn't stop right away. That can be a contributing factor to what she has going on.
Another thing I wanted to ask you too, how is it, you talked about how it was leaking fluid. How would you know that?
One, experience.
Okay.
Two, the corrosion around the wheel cylinder. It was wet, I could see it. More brake dust had accumulated to it. That prompted me to pull back one of the rubber boots on the wheel cylinder. I could see brake fluid at that point. Knowing what I know, brake fluid that exits the wheel cylinder is not providing any pressure. It's not providing any stopping power for the car. So it becomes a safety issue because if that wheel cylinder completely blows out, you lose the brake pedal altogether.
So what is causing it to lose so much?
It is worn.
Okay,
it's
just
time for it
worn.
to be replaced. You figure you got 138,000 miles on the car. I don't know that they've ever been replaced. So just a brake overhaul, make sure that the safety points are taken care of and she has a nice firm brake pedal and the car is going to stop when she needs it to stop.
Now one thing we was questioning too, me and her was questioning the oil change. And I know we talked about this several times on my show, but a lot of times because of money, we add oil.
Okay.
We're not sure if it's good or should we add oil if it's not good, or what do we do?
When you purchase a vehicle, a used vehicle especially, and you have no records on it.
No history of it.
The best thing to do is go ahead and get the oil changed right then and there. Okay. You buy the car, take it to a shop, have the oil changed, have it checked out if you haven't already. That way you start with a clean slate. You know when the oil needs to be changed, you know if it's got any leaks, you've had somebody look at it, you know what repairs are going to need to be done to it. But as far as the oil change goes, if you have no maintenance records to go on, why chance it? $30 oil change for this vehicle could save you thousands in the long run.
One person asked me this, do you change the oil filter every time you change
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Listen, viewer, someone told me, so I had this come in. They said that you do not have to change the filter every time. I see my son, my videographer, shaking his head. But that question came up. They said, no, that's not true. You do not have to change the filter. So I want to ask that for that viewer.
You change the filter every time. The filter is designed to trap dirt, debris, metal, whatever's in the engine oil is designed to filter it out. So if you don't change it, it can clog the oil filter, or the oil filter itself can deteriorate and be sucked back in through the engine and clog something else up. And that's not something you want. Now those are extreme cases, but it does happen.
The next question that they ask, you know, it has the different weights with the oil. With your car, is it a certain type of oil that you use, or does it matter? They say it doesn't matter.
Depends on the vehicle.
Okay.
Some cars take a different oil. Some cars ask for synthetic. This one here in particular, 5W20, conventional oil. It's on the cap. So it's not required to put a synthetic or a high mileage oil in it unless the customer requests it. 138,000 miles, I would recommend a high mileage oil, but it's not required. Every car has their own requirements, so every car is different. Porsche takes an oil change every 25,000 miles, but it uses a special oil. This car needs to be changed every 3,000 to 5,000 miles.
Every 3 to 5. Well, Tony, we're going to a commercial break, then we're coming back. We got another couple, one on the car, bought it brand new. Warranty's going off, now we're having trouble. Coming back after commercial break.
Unity with Pam is being brought to you by these great sponsors.
You do know the experts at Midas will tell you what needs fixing now and what can wait, right? Like, I don't know, brakes?
Of course I do.
Trust the Midas touch for brakes, tires, oil, everything.
I'm a fan of this plateau.
I'm a fan of things that go.
I'm a fan of all things kitschy.
I'm a fan of Lionel Richie.
Hello.
I'm a fan of DQ. I'm a fan of DQ Bakes.
Bakes.
DQ Bakes. I'm a fan of warm ciabatta.
I'm a fan of cold and hotter.
Melty snacks on my snack break.
I'm a fan of DQ Bakes.
New artisan-style sandwiches, snack melts, and desserts. Hot out of the oven and only at your DQ. This is fan food, not fast food.
I'm a fan.
When your child is sick, you take them to the doctor, right? Well, at Zoe Pediatrics, we don't just take care of sick kids. We want to keep the healthy ones healthy.
At Zoe Pediatrics, we're in the business of prevention. We would love if when our children are 100 years old, they could say they were never sick a day in their life because of what they learned at Zoe Pediatrics.
Don't wait for sickness. Children don't have to be sick to get better. Good doctors treat illness. Really great doctors prevent disease. Zoe Pediatrics, 10th Avenue at 17th Street.
Come into Chester's Barbecue for our world-famous mouth-watering ribs, smoked fresh on our grill daily. Or try one of our barbecue pork plates with fresh sides. Chester's has delicious sandwich combos to choose from that are sure to please. We also serve tempting home-cooked favorites. And don't forget to take home your own bottle of great sauce. Chester's Barbecue, serving the best food at the best price, with 3 locations to serve you.
Welcome to Unity with Pam, with your host, Pam Willis-Hovey.
Hello and welcome back to Unity. Again, we're here on location at Midas. If you missed the first segment, we were talking about buying a car off of a private owner. And so we gave you some good tidbits. But now there's another set of issues. It's a one-owner car, bought it brand new. The warranty has rolled off. Now you're starting to have some issues. Again, this is where Tony comes in. Tony, welcome to Unity. Well, hey, we had a couple here. One owner, warranty is going off. This is when we start seeing issues, especially when you, like me, the road queen, put a lot of miles on your car.
I can understand that.
Tell me, what did you see?
This particular vehicle's got some internal engine issues.
Ooh.
The warranty is out on it, so it's going to be up to the customer what he wants to do with it. It can get quite expensive to repair a vehicle like this, so you have to weigh the maintenance cost of a new car and the payment and the insurance versus repairing the one you already have. So.
In your personal opinion, you said it's got some engine issues.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell us what kind of engine issues. When should you know to, like me, you keep going and going and going, and when do you know, okay, I need to trade this car, it's a done deal?
When the maintenance costs for the vehicle outweigh the value of the vehicle is when you need to start looking at trading the vehicle or upgrading, getting something newer and keeping it. You know, every customer is different, every person is different, so it's really entirely up to you. In my opinion, if I'm putting more money into the car than what it's worth, there's no use in keeping it.
Okay. And you talked about internal issues. Tell my viewers about that.
In this particular case,
yes.
I believe we went way over on many oil changes. This has got some timing chain problems. The oiling is not where it's supposed to be at. So when he first cranks the car up, the timing chains rattle. It can be fixed, but it's quite expensive.
Now, okay, a timing chain on this particular car is the Kia Sorento?
Yes, ma'am.
What would that cost?
You know, without looking it up, I can't be 100%, but thousands.
Thousands. Ooh. And then the engine issues you talked about, what was something like that?
That's contributing to it. Now,
yes.
If a timing chain fails, pops, gets hot, and breaks, you're looking at replacing the engine. So and that can run anywhere from $3,000 to $7,000 depending on what you put back in it.
You know, we had I always like the viewers' questions. Some people, they say you can change your own timing chains, but in this particular case, a lady had a timing chain, and again, somebody said they could do it and messed up I may not be describing it right, but messed up the engine. They didn't align something up right. You may know what I'm trying to say.
There's most likely a timing belt that you're talking about.
Yes.
And you can misalign a timing belt and cause internal engine problems with a chain. It's
How? How could you do that?
Because if you don't have the timing correct in the vehicle, which is the cam to crankshaft correlation, the valves and the pistons will collide and it destroys internal components.
So now you done caused a whole nother set of problems.
You're replacing an engine, yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So in your personal opinion, is it best to come to?
Bring it to somebody who knows what they're doing.
Okay.
A professional, AAC certified technician. They can look at your car, evaluate your car, and give you the diagnosis that you're looking for. If you bring it to them and they want to sell you a ton of other parts, that may be somebody you might want to stay away from. Bring it to somebody you trust. That's the biggest thing.
I know you say that a lot. Bring it to somebody you trust. And how often, in this particular car, you talked about we went over the miles. Big Girl has been guilty of that too. We went over the miles, what they recommend for oil change. How often should you get it in the Kia?
This vehicle right here should have been changed every 5,000 miles. I have changed oil previously on this vehicle, so I know what it looks like when it comes out. It's real sludgy, probably not the best quality oil that had been used in it. Overextending the times on the oil change from 5,000 to maybe 7 or 10. I've seen that happen quite a bit, but that puts extra wear on the internal components of the engine, oil pump, timing chain, cylinder walls, crankshaft especially. That wears the engine out. So after a period of time, when you first crank it like we have here, it rattles for 5-6 seconds before it'll start to smooth out.
So what's causing it to rattle?
Lack of oil pressure. So most likely we have an oil pump that's starting to fail. It's not providing the oil pressure to the timing chain tensioners, and that's where you're getting the rattle from.
So you should change this one how often? The
oil change on this one should have been every 5,000 miles.
Every 5,000 miles. I think Toyota's is what, 5,000?
Between 5 and 10, depending on the make and model.
Okay, all right. Now what would you recommend, what type of oil putting in this particular car?
In this particular car, we've been using regular conventional oil, and that's what Kia would recommend. Every 5,000 miles, change the oil, the filter, and do a maintenance inspection. Go over the vehicle, much like we did with the one earlier.
Are you seeing a lot of cars like this, or are you seeing a lot of people going over their mileage and error?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
More people are driving these days. Cars are way more reliable than they used to be, so you can get in your car and take off from here to California and back and not have to worry about it. So they think the oil can be stretched a little further than what it should be. Granted, those temperatures get super hot in the engine. You're breaking down the oil. It needs to be replaced.
What about of course, in the South? It is hot. Should we change the oil a little bit more because it's so hot?
You need to go by the factory guidelines.
Okay.
Yeah, the factory, in this case Kia, says that the oil should be changed every 5,000 miles. Change oil every 5,000 miles. It doesn't matter the climate. The engine's going to operate at a certain temperature whether you're here or you're in North Dakota.
I want to ask you something real quick. They're giving me 1 minute. Another viewer question. You want to stretch that antifreeze because it's hot. Can you mix water and antifreeze together?
In some cases you can, depending on what kind of antifreeze you're purchasing. Some come pre-mix and some come concentrated. If you buy the concentrate version, yes, it does need to be mixed with water.
So should you check the owner's manual to make sure before you do that?
Absolutely.
Okay. And that's why I wanted to ask you. I had a viewer ask me that, and they said, well, Miss Pam, you can always, if you need to save you a few dollars, put your little water, a little antifreeze in any car, and you'll be okay. Since I don't know cars, I have to ask. Well, we're going to commercial break, and then we're going to recap this show with Tony.
Unity with Pam is being brought to you by these great sponsors.
Come on in to Sugar's for a sweet taste of Southern cooking. You will be taken back to Sunday dinner at Grandma's house with every bite. Daily specials serving fried chicken, collards, black-eyed peas, also melt-in-your-mouth cornbread. You will want to ask for seconds. Also try one of our homemade desserts. You will be in sweet, sweet heaven. Sugar's offers catering for all your corporate, church, and family gatherings. They will do all the work and save you all the trouble. Sugar's, a taste of Southern cooking.
The average home has more than 5 devices connected to the internet. Is your internet strong enough to keep up? At WOW, we can boost your internet with speeds up to 110 megabits per second. So you can handle it all and then some. That's WOW, not what you'd expect from a cable company. Find your perfect speed at wowway.com.
Hello, I'm Pastor Willis.
And I'm co-pastor Emma Willis.
And we welcome you to be a part of our ministry. We have a wonderful illustrated teaching and preaching we want to share with you. And also we sharing with you our dance ministry and also our choir and our outreach ministry. And we have a wonderful Sunday school. And we welcome you to come and be a part of this ministry. God bless you.
For over 25 years, the Bug Patrol at All Star Pest Control has protected thousands of families' homes from pests and rodents. Although most treatments have no odor and are environmentally friendly, our high technology products and methods get absolute results.
And we guarantee it.
All Star Pest Control, over 25 years of guaranteed protection.
Welcome to Unity with Pam, with your host, Pam Willis-Hovey.
Hello, welcome back to a special edition of Unity. We've been talking about our car care show, and we're on location at Midas. And you know, we had that last question that viewer asked about mixing the antifreeze and the water. And Mr. Tony, while we was on break, showed us something that you need to know, because I know a lot of times it's hot, we're trying to save money, we use water, we don't know how to equal this thing out. But I'm gonna let Tony take it from here. Welcome to Unity again.
How you doing, Pam? The question was, can you add water to your cooling system? And some people say yes, some people say no. If you do a home repair and you put let's say you break a hose and you're capable of putting that new hose in your engine and you pour water in the cooling system and it's summertime and you have no issue with it, when it becomes wintertime, you're gonna have an issue with it. The proper mixture of coolant needs to be installed into the engine so that you don't freeze, or when the temperatures drop, the engine does not freeze and break. Now what we were talking about was an expansion plug. Now when water reaches 32 degrees, it freezes, okay? Water expands when it freezes. When it expands, it can create havoc for an engine. So they put these inside of an engine block in different various locations, between 4 and 8, depending on the engine. So if that does happen, and you have done an emergency repair and added water, or if you didn't know when you just added water to your cooling system, and it freezes at night, it will push these plugs out rather than break the block apart. Everybody's put a bottle of water in the freezer and watched it explode.
Yes.
We were just talking about that. This is the same thing. We'd rather this come out than you destroy the engine. So that's what these were designed for.
I'm glad I asked that viewer question. I had to. So we're going back through guest number 1, which was the young lady. Now that you done went all the way through her car, and she bought it off of somebody, and just like me, you took somebody's word for it, not knowing, private owner. In your opinion, what do you think? Did she make a good deal or not?
The price she paid for the car was not bad, okay? Being the year model it is, and it doesn't have a whole lot of miles on it. 130,000 miles is not much in today's standards. It does need some maintenance. She should have known about this prior to purchasing the car. Always get your car inspected before you buy it, whether you're getting it from a lot or a private seller. That would have saved a lot of heartache in the long run.
Your personal opinion, would you have purchased it?
Most likely no. Just in the condition it was, told me that the previous owner didn't care about the car. So with worn out tires, one fix can explode, oil leaks, I probably wouldn't have even thought twice about it.
How much would it cost to get that car up? Let's say she wants to keep it. What would it cost to get it on safe ground, safe running ground on the road?
I'm going to take it,
just an estimate.
About $1,000, maybe $1,200, depending on what needs to be done. That's minus the AC work that needs to be done on the car. 4 tires, alignment, it's got some suspension issues. The tires being the biggest thing, the brakes work, you know, it's got to be done. Safety issues first. So between $1,000 and $1,200.
Ooh, and now we're second guess. Of course, just like me, if we decide to keep the car, and you know, miles going to come before the years on any warranty because we likes to drive a car.
Absolutely.
In your personal opinion, should you keep that car or would you trade it?
And again, this goes back to everybody drives a car different.
Notice I said opinion. Don't hold Pam and Tony to nothing.
Exactly. The owner of the vehicle needs to make the decision whether purchasing a new car, the new payment, the maintenance that's required on the new car, oil changes, tires, and so forth, versus repairing the car that he already has with no payment and the lower insurance rate. Got to kind of sit there and weigh it out. You know, most people opt for a new car. It's outdated. There's a lot that has to be done to it. It's always in the shop. But on the other side, you got a brand new car payment. You got brand new insurance payment. You know, kind of weigh those things out and see which way you want to go.
To get that car back up, safe road standard. This is my harmoletics. It's not mechanics. It's big girls. But what would that cost?
Worst case scenario, we're replacing an engine. So $3,000 to $7,000, somewhere in there. So could you take that $3,000 or $7,000 depending on what you put in it and put a nice down payment on another vehicle? Absolutely. Something to think about. They can get real expensive. So if it were mine,
yes, if it was yours, yes.
It wouldn't have ever been at this point. But engines fail, metal components fail. This might not have been the driver's fault. He may have changed oil every time, but the sludge that I see inside of it kind of tells me a different story. So we're going to assume that the oil wasn't changed on time and the timing chains are starting to stretch. We have issues with the car.
Do you see a lot of this in your shop?
I do. We see a lot of high mileage vehicles, a lot of vehicles that the customers weren't aware of scheduled maintenance needing to be done on the car, changing oil, tire balances, alignments, just regular stuff that you can do to prolong the life of the vehicle. We see quite a bit.
So we've got 1 minute. 1 minute, Tony. I'm really concerned about our first customer. How do we prevent somebody from becoming someone like her?
Bring it to a reputable shop, somebody that you trust. Trust is a big word. Bring it to Midas. We offer a used car inspection at $65. We'll go through the complete car, get you a written estimate, show you what's wrong with it, and let you decide whether it's worth your time and money purchasing the vehicle.
I'm telling you, he told you a lot today. He said a whole lot. Yes, you know, we need to do that. I'm just telling you, my heart breaks because I've been where the young lady has been. You know, I had a car that just, woof, and my father got on me. We've been coming to Midas, to be honest with y'all, since we were little bitty girls. My dad promised by it. He promised us. And when I took my car and had someone else to fix it, and they put my brakes on backwards, Reverend Willis threw a fit. And so what was a $100 problem cost me an $800 problem.
Happens.
Rotors, calipers, everything. So I know times are tight. I'm just suggesting to you, come by Midas. You know, they got a free inspection. Anything more, I know it will cost more if
the courtesy inspection always free. I'll be glad to look at it for you.
He said he's glad to look at it. Tony, is there something else you want to say before we close the show out?
Preventive maintenance is the key. The more preventive maintenance you can do on your vehicle will save you money in the long run.
Well, Tony, again, thank you so much for doing Big Girls Show. Show love in the community.
Thank you for watching Unity with Pam. If you would like to be a sponsor, please contact us or visit unitywithpam.org. Unity with Pam is being brought to you by these great sponsors.
You do know the experts at Midas will tell you when he's fixing now and what can wait, right? Like, I don't know, brakes?
Of course I do.
Trust the Midas touch for brakes, tires, oil, everything.
Unity with Pam is being brought to you by these great sponsors.
For over 25 years, the Bug Patrol at All Star Pest Control has protected thousands of families' homes from pests and rodents. Although most treatments have no odor and are environmentally friendly, our high-technology products and methods get absolute results.
And we guarantee it.
All Star Pest Control, over 25 years of guaranteed protection.
Hello, I'm Pastor Willis.
And I'm co-pastor Emma Willis.
And we welcome you to be a part of our ministry. We have a wonderful, illustrated teaching and preaching we want to share with you. And also we sharing with you our dance ministry and also our choir and our outreach ministry. And we have a wonderful Sunday school. And we welcome you to come and be a part of this ministry. God bless you.
Come on in to Sugar's for a sweet taste of Southern cooking. You will be taken back to Sunday dinner at Grandma's house with every bite. Daily specials serving fried chicken, collards, black-eyed peas, also melt-in-your-mouth cornbread. You will want to ask for seconds. Also try one of our homemade desserts. You will be in sweet, sweet heaven. Sugar's offers catering for all your corporate, church, and family gatherings. They will do all the work and save you all the trouble. Sugar's, a taste of Southern cooking.
The average home has more than 5 devices connected to the internet. Is your internet strong enough to keep up? At WOW, we can boost your internet with speeds up to 110 megabits per second. So you can handle it all and then some. That's WOW, not what you'd expect from a cable company. Find your perfect speed at wowway.com.